Hello dear friends, today we will see an exercise example number 4.8 and onwards. Here in 4.8 number example of exercise chapter number 4, we are given certain information. This is very interesting and easy question. It is given that a closely wound solenoid 80 centimeter long has 5 layers of windings of 400 turns each. The diameter of the solenoid is 1.8 centimeter. If the current carried is 8 ampere, then estimate the magnitude of B inside the solenoid near its center. So, as per as given information, what we are provided over here is that I have shown you that different 5 colors of layers for the solenoids. Here you can see with the information that 5 layers with 400 turns each. So in these turns there are about 400 turns per layer. So we can say that total number of turns, so total number of turns, what will be that? Obviously that in each turn, in each layer there are 400 turns and there are such 5 layers, then obviously we are having about 200 turns for this solenoid. So for this solenoid, capital N will be 2000. So 2000 tons are there in total. Then they have given that solenoid has 1.8 centimeter of diameter. So this diameter is given. Then current is also provided, that is 8 ampere. So we are also provided with the current, that is 8 ampere, and the length of the solenoid is also given, and that is 80 centimeter, that is about 0.8 meter long. So we have number of turns per unit length, that is small n, is given by n over L. That is n over L, we can say that is total number 2000 over 0.8. This will be the total number of turns, and this comes to be about 2500 per meter. So there will be about 2500 tons per meter for this solenoid as given for the information. Now what we need to apply the equation of magnetic field B, that we already know, that B is equals to mu 0 n I. Here we are given all the values. Mu 0 is equals to obviously 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Number of turns per unit length, that is 2500, and current, that is also given, that is 8 ampere. So if we solve this, we get about 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 Tesla. So this is the example number 4.8, which is related to solenoid. 4.9, what we are given in the example, that we are provided that a square coil of side 10 centimeter consists of 20 turns and carries a current of 12 ampere. So here we have shown this square loop as shown in this red color part. We consider that there are total 20 turns are there and each side is 10 centimeter long. With that, it also carries a current of 10 ampere. So I is equals to 10 ampere through it. So it consists 12 ampere current is passing through it. The coil is suspended vertically and normal to the plane of the coil and makes an angle of 30 degree with the direction of uniform horizontal magnetic field of magnitude 0.80 Tesla. Now here another magnetic field is also given. This magnetic field has the value that is about 0.8 Tesla. So here we can say that this magnetic field is about 0.8 Tesla and coil makes an angle 30 degree with it. Now we have to find out that the magnitude of torque experienced by this coil or a spring. So here we have to find out the equation of torque that we already have, that is NAIB. So this NAIB sine theta is our actual equation. Our original equation is what? We must know that tau is equals to NI A cross B. We must remember this, and it forms this value. So A cross B is actually equation, and N and I are there, but we are given here the theta as a sine theta. So we have to put the values. We are provided all the terms. We are given total 20 tons are there. We are given area that is for a square loop, that is 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter. If we convert it into meter, we get 0.1 into 0.1, that is 0.1 square. Then current I is given 12 ampere. We are given 12 ampere current. B, magnetic field B is given 0.8 Tesla, so that is 0.8 Tesla, and sine theta, that is sine 30. So we have to put all the values. When we put all the values, what we will get? 20 into this will be 0.1 into 0.1, that is 0.01. Then 12 into 0.8 into sine 30 is 0.5. So when we solve this, what we will get? We get the answer as the torque is about 0.96 Newton into meter. So this will be the torque acting on this coil. So this is your example number 4.9. Here in a same manner we are also having one more example, that is example number 4.13. So we will also see that 4.13 number example, in which what we are provided. So first of all, we are given that a circular coil of 30 tons and radius 8 centimeter carrying a current of 6 ampere is suspended vertically in a uniform magnetic field of magnitude 1 Tesla. The field lines makes an angle 60 degree with normal to the coil. Calculate the magnitude of counter torque that must be applied to prevent the coil from turning. Now here it is interesting that what will be the counter torque. So actually the counter torque is the same, that what is the torque acting, so that whatever the torque will be there, the same value in opposite direction, that is considered as a counter torque. And another thing, that would your answer change if circular coil in number A were replaced by planar coil of some irregular shape of enclose the same area? So first of all, what we are given, we have to write that information. We are given a circular coil. So here first we consider a circular coil in a manner, let us say it is just like a solenoid, but here it is not having that much length. So we can say that this is the coil with some numbers of turns they have given us. We consider it like this. It has 30 turns. So here we are given that n is equals to 30. Then the radius is given. For area it is required that a radius is given, that is 8 centimeter. So we can say that this is 0.08 meter. Then the current passing through is also provided. We say that suppose I flowing through it, that I is given, that I value is about 6 ampere, that we are given here, and it is suspended uniform in the uniform magnetic field which an angle 60 degree. So here we are given magnetic field also that makes an angle of 60 degree with its cross section area. So here we consider that this is the cross section areas portion. Here I will consider that suppose this is the direction and here this is 60 degree that they have given. Here we are provided the value of magnetic field also. B is equals to, they have given 1 Tesla. So B is given as a 1 Tesla and angle is given, that is 60 degree. So we have to find out that calculate the magnitude of the counter torque. But first of all we have to find out the torque, and that will be the same in opposite direction. So as we have applied the previous equation, we apply again tau is equals to n I a b sine theta. Here we have area vector will be here, that is pi r square. So number of turns we are given 30, current is flowing, that is 6 ampere, area we have to apply pi into r square, so we put pi r square. B's value is given, that is 1 Tesla, and we are provided sine 60. So all the values are there, 3 6 180 into 3.14, that is value of pi. Then r radius, that is 0.08 2 times because it is a square, so square into 1, and that is sine 60. Sine 60 is about root 3 by 2. So when we put all these values, what will be the answer that we will obtain? That is about 3.1 Newton per meter, Newton into meter. So this will be the value of torque acting on this coil. So obviously the same value of counter torque that we have to apply. So we can say that this much counter torque that we have to apply on this coil so that it will not have any fluctuation. Now the another question they have asked us, that if we replace this coil by a planar coil of some irregular shape, that encloses the same area, then we can say that if area is not going to change, then we say that no, our answer will not change, because the above formula for the torque is true for a planar loop of any shape. So here we have considered this as a circular loop. In a previous example we have given as a square loop. So if there is any type of loop with any type of shape, but if we are not going to change the area vector or area value, then the answer remains shape, because it does not depend on the shape of that coil, but it depends on the value of that area vector. So if area vector is not changed, our answer remains the same. Hello dear friends, now we will move to the example number 4.10 of the exercise. We are given in the question very important things. On the basis of that, we have to calculate whatever asked. We are given that two moving coil galvanometers M1 and M2 have the following particulars. So suppose we are having this galvanometer, that is G1, they have given name as M1 moving coil galvanometer, and this G2 I am giving it name as a M2 as per as textbook, are having following particulars. So this left hand side portion consists the information regarding galvanometer 1, and this right hand side portion consists the information regarding galvanometer 2. They have given that the resistance of galvanometer 1 is 10 ohm, number of turns for galvanometer 1 is 30, area is 3.6 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square, and magnetic field is 0.25 Tesla. In the same manner, for galvanometer 2, they have given that the resistance of galvanometer 2 is 14 ohm, number of turns are 42, area is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square, and magnetic field of that galvanometer is 0.50 Tesla. On the basis of this information, another information is given that the spring constant or K, that is called torsional constant, they are identical for the two springs. So here the value of K remains constant for both of them. So we are asked to find out determine the ratio of current sensitivity, that is called IS1, that is phi1 upon I1, and voltage sensitivity, that is Vs, that is phi upon V. We have to find out. So we are ultimately asked to find out two things: current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity of both the galvanometer in the term of ratio. But whenever we are asked to find out this current or voltage sensitivity, we have to remember this actual equation that we need to apply, and that is equation of torque or balancing torque acting in the galvanometer. So here we have very well equation, that is tau equals to NIAB is equals to K phi. So we will follow this formula. We will apply this formula for both the galvanometer, and we can say we can have the ratio of that asked value. So first of all, we will say that ratio of current sensitivity of galvanometer 2 to galvanometer 1. So we can say that for the question number 1, we say that is IS2 upon IS1. Here IS and IS2 and IS1 belongs to, I belongs to current, S belongs to sensitivity. So I say that current sensitivity of galvanometer 2 to the current sensitivity of galvanometer 1. बस हमें यहाँ पर वो अप्लाई कर देना है. So now IS2, that is N2 A2 B2 over K, और उसके नीचे IS1, that IS1 is in denominator, so it will have N1 A1 B1 over K. Now we have to just simplify this, or we are already given that K are same in both case, so there is no need to write it. Now just take the ratio, that is N2 A2 B2 over N1 A1 B1. So this is the information that we are given. We are already provided all the informations that N2 is 42. At the same time N1 is given as a 30. A2 is considered 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 3, while A1 is given 3.6 into 10 raised to minus 30 into B2 is given 0.5 and B1 is given 0.25. So when we solve this, we get the value tentative, that is 7 by 5. It is very easy to calculate over here. We can calculate also that this is 0.25, 0.2, that will be 2. Here this 10 to the power minus 3, 10 to the power minus 3 will cancel out. Here this is 1.8 and this is 3.6. Here that will be 2. Here this 2 will cancel out each other. So we can say that these 2 will cancel out each other, and here we are having ultimately 42 upon 30. So now when we simplify this portion, what we get is equals to, we can have the ratio with the term, that is 7 by 5, and if we take the simplification, that will be about 1.4. So here the first answer that we have obtained is, that is IS2 upon IS1 is equals to 1.4. Now they have also asked us to find out the voltage sensitivity, and we have the equation for the voltage sensitivity as shown, that is Vs1 and Vs2. So we have to do nothing special. We have to just take the ratio of that Vs. We can say that question number 2 for the voltage sensitivity, what we can do and what we can apply over here for the example number 2, that is voltage sensitivity of 2 to the voltage sensitivity of 1, we can have the simple term, that is IS2 over RG2, and Vs1, that will be IS1 upon RG1. We are already having a ratio of IS2 upon IS1 in that upper part, so we need just the value of RG1 and RG2 to put over here. We can simply calculate the term, we can put the value, that is equals to, we have 1.4 into RG1 is 10 and RG2 is about 14. So here it is very simple that when we simplify, this will be 14 upon 14, and that is 1. So the another ratio that they have asked, that will be a unit value. Hello friends, now we will see the next example, that is example number 4.11. In this question we are given that in a chamber a uniform magnetic field of 6.5 Gauss, that is 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla is prevailing. So this is the value of the magnetic field. Now an electron is shot into the field with a speed of 4.8 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. So we are given the speed of electron, that is 4.8 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. So we are given this value, and it is normal to the field. Now we are asked that explain why the path of electron is a circle. So we have to first of all find the path of this electron, and we are asked that why it is circle. Now for that we can simply say that the perpendicular magnetic field exerts a force on electron that is perpendicular to its path. So if we consider that if electron is entered as in shown in the figure, then what will happen, that when it enters into this field, it will experience the force in the manner such that it will experience the circular force on it in the perpendicular direction, and it will follow this path. So obviously it will follow this perpendicular force, and therefore it is perpendicular to its motion, and so it will experience this type of circular path. So the perpendicular magnetic field exerts a force on the electron perpendicular to its path, and this force continuously deflects the electron from its path and makes it move along a circular path. Now we are asked to find out that magnetic force on the electron, but obviously we can compare two things, that magnetic force on the electron is given by, that is Fm, that is Q into VB sine theta, and here obviously that V and B are perpendicular to each other. This can be compared with the circular motion. So if we compare it the circular motion, that is again mv square over r. We are asked to find out the radius, so we can compare these two forces. We can say that this is QVB sine theta is equals to mv square over r. Now we can make it as a subject, and if we make r as a subject, we can get the regarding term that r is equals to mv square over qvb sine theta. Here theta is 90. So if we put all the terms related to electron, we can say mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. Velocity that they have provided 4.8 into 10 raised to 6 square. Q, that is itself electron, the magnitude of its charge 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. One V will also cancel over here, so we need not to apply square, but we have to just write a simple term of that velocity. Then we have to apply the magnetic field, that is given 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla and sine 90, that is 1. So if we put all the terms and simplify the equation, we get about, that is simple, that is 4.2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. So that is about 4.2 centimeters. So this is the example of 4.11. We are also asked another question with the example. They have asked us, that is your next example number 4.12. In this 4.12 number example, they have asked us that if we consider that in this example number 11, find out the frequency of revolution of the electron in its circular orbit. So we are also asked to find out the frequency of revolution. Now again, see that when electron is following on this type of circular path, that means suppose we consider that electron is there, it is following this type of circular path as shown. You can see it will cover this circular path, and therefore the frequency will be related to this circular path. For that, what we need to find out, we need to find out this radius that we have obtained over here in this example. So this is one thing that we can obtain. Now in this arrangement, if we compare it with our equation of frequency, so if we are asked to find out the frequency term, frequency is given by QB upon 2 pi m, that we have already obtained in our theory. Here you can see that radius is mb over qb and frequency is, that is qb upon 2 pi m if we make f as a subject. So this is the question that we can simplify here. Here it can be put that qb upon 2 pi m. So this will be the part of the term, and we can apply it in that equation below this given formula. When we put these terms, that all the terms we are provided, q, that is a charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Magnetic field B, that is 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla. 2 into 3.14, and mass of electron, that is also known 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. So this will be the given values. When we simplify it, we will get about 18.18 into 10 to the power 6 hertz. Hertz is a unit of frequency, and 10 raised to 6 is considered as a mega. So it is about 18.18 megahertz. So this is the answer of the question number 12. The another question is also asked there, that does the answer depend on the speed of the electron? We can simply say that in this equation there is no speed term is existing, and therefore we can say that it does not depend on the speed of electron as given in the question.